Ever wondered how one woman's death marked the end of a 3,000-year-old civilization? Let's journey back to 30 BC, to the magnificent city of Alexandria. Here, in a grand mausoleum, the final act of a legendary queen unfolds. This is the story of Cleopatra, the last pharaoh of Egypt, and how her fate sealed the destiny of an entire empire. The story really begins 3 centuries earlier, with Alexander the Great. After conquering a vast territory, including Egypt, his empire was divided among his generals. One of them, Ptolemy, took Egypt and established a new dynasty. The Ptolemies ruled as pharaohs, adopting Egyptian customs but maintaining their Greek heritage. For nearly 300 years, they presided over a kingdom that was a dazzling blend of cultures, with Alexandria as its glittering capital, home to the great library and the lighthouse, one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. Fast forward to the 1st century BC. The Ptolemaic dynasty is weakening, and a new power is rising in the West, Rome. This is the world Cleopatra was born into. She wasn't just a beautiful queen. She was a brilliant political operator, a cunning strategist, and a gifted linguist who, unlike her predecessors, actually spoke Egyptian. She understood that to survive, Egypt needed to navigate the treacherous waters of Roman politics. Her first major move was to forge an alliance with the most powerful man in Rome, Julius Caesar. The story of her being smuggled into the palace wrapped in a carpet is legendary, and it worked. Caesar was captivated. Their alliance was both political and personal. With Roman military backing, Cleopatra secured her throne. They had a son, Caesarion, whom she hoped would one day rule a combined Roman-Egyptian empire. But fate had other plans. Caesar was assassinated in Rome, and the Republic was plunged into another civil war. Cleopatra had to pick a side again. This time, she threw her lot in with Mark Antony, one of Caesar's most loyal generals. Their partnership was even more passionate and intense than her one with Caesar. They fell deeply in love, had 3 children, and ruled the eastern part of the Roman world from Alexandria. To many in Rome, this looked like a betrayal. They saw Antony as a man who had abandoned his Roman duties for an exotic foreign queen. The propaganda machine, led by Caesar's ambitious heir, Octavian, went into overdrive. He painted Cleopatra as a dangerous seductress, a corrupting influence who wanted to conquer Rome and move its capital to Egypt. The tension between Octavian in the west and Antony and Cleopatra in the east finally exploded into all-out war. The decisive confrontation came at the naval battle of Actium in 31 BC. It was a disaster for Antony and Cleopatra. Their fleet was outmaneuvered and destroyed by Octavian's admiral, Agrippa. The couple managed to escape and flee back to Egypt, but their cause was lost. Their armies deserted them, and their allies abandoned them. They were trapped, waiting for Octavian to arrive. As Octavian's forces closed in on Alexandria, Antony received a false report that Cleopatra had taken her own life. Devastated, he fell on his sword, but he didn't die immediately. He was carried, bleeding and in agony, to the mausoleum where Cleopatra had barricaded herself. He died in her arms. Now, Cleopatra was truly alone, a captive of her enemy. Octavian, he planned to parade her through the streets of Rome in chains as the ultimate prize of his victory. This was a humiliation Cleopatra was determined to avoid. She was a queen, a descendant of gods in the eyes of her people. She would not be a spectacle for a Roman mob. And so we come to that final, dramatic moment. According to the most famous account, a loyal servant smuggled a poisonous asp, a type of cobra, to her in a basket of figs. The snake was a symbol of divine royalty in ancient Egypt, a fitting instrument for a queen's death. She allowed the snake to bite her, and died, defiant to the end. Her 2 loyal handmaidens, Iris and Charmian, were found with her. When one of Octavian's guards entered and angrily asked Charmian, "Was this a noble deed?" she replied, "Exceedingly noble, and worthy of a descendant of so many kings," before collapsing herself. With Cleopatra's death, Egypt's independence was over. Octavian annexed it, turning it into a personal province of the Roman emperor. Her son with Caesarion, was hunted down and killed. Octavian, who would soon be known as Emperor Augustus, couldn't risk a rival claimant to Caesar's legacy. The Ptolemaic dynasty was extinguished. The age of the pharaohs, a civilization that had built the pyramids, worshipped a pantheon of gods for millennia, and created some of the world's most enduring art and architecture, had officially ended. Cleopatra's story is often reduced to one of seduction and romance, but it's so much more. It's the story of a brilliant ruler fighting to save her kingdom in a changing world. Her death wasn't just a personal tragedy. It was a political earthquake that marked the end of the Hellenistic Age and the true beginning of the Roman Empire. The story of ancient Egypt, a saga of gods, pyramids, and pharaohs that spanned 3 millennia, concluded with the last breath of its last queen. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey back in time. If you found this story as fascinating as I do, please hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into history. Let me know in the comments what historical event you'd like to explore next. See you in the next video.